Okay, so last night I announced which was my personal favourite front end of 2023. If you've not checked out that video yet, check it out and see why I recommend that certain particular front end system. So, what we're going to talk about today is Retrobat and why I think this is the best free front end of 2023. So, a lot of reasons really. Retrobat is very user friendly and it's also complex. So if we go with the very basic systems such as the Nintendo NES, Sega Master System, and to an extent Commodore 64 in a couple of other microcomputers, Retrobat is extremely user friendly and it looks nice too. So like I say, as we do, Retrobat's absolutely free and it's the front end system which I'm most known for on my channel, Just Jamie. It's the most videos I've done setup guides for as a front end, and I've kind of surpassed 100 different individual setups. So the reason for this is that many different systems using Retrobat requires different setups. For example, if we look at something like RPCS3, PlayStation 3 that is, and how to emulate this through Retrobat, it requires a specific setup. And then we can go even more technical with something like Technoparrot. So as it stands, Retrobat actually supports well over 100 different systems. In the background of Retrobat is running Retroarch, and Retroarch freaks some people out because of its complex look. Lots of text. But Retrobat covers up that, and as we know, Retroarch is running in the background, so we don't necessarily need to take a look at Retroarch's complex look. So if you're new to Retrobat, I'm going to just give you a little quick tour around why I totally recommend this. So this is the beta version I'm using here of Retrobat. This is beta 2 for stable version 6, which should be releasing, I'd imagine, in January, February time, which reminds me Retrobat gets around 2 to 3 stable releases each year, but in between those releases, we also get betas. So let me show you a little glimpse of what Retrobat's like. Say for example, if you want to add some games, if we just right click on the shortcut, open file location, I always recommend going on the shortcut like I've just done so in all my videos. It's the easiest way to go into the directory. So it's as simple as this really. So we got our ROMs folder just here, and this just here tells us every system that Retrobat covers. So we've got everything here from the Panasonic 3DO or just 3DO right down to the ZX Spectrum. So as we know, most front ends such as Batocera and even Retroarch to some extent, they will cover all these systems. So it's a simple case of just popping in your games into one of these ROM folders, and that's it. Now most of the time these will then show up in Retrobat when we open that up. Another really nice feature with Retrobat is the Bat GUI tool. If I just double left click on this one, this is going to bring up Bat Graphical User Interface or Bat GUI, and this is a nice little tool that the devs on Retrobat have set up for us to use to simplify things. We got System List, which I can't praise enough. If I just go to System, again, this will tell us all the systems that Retrobat covers. Now, let's just take, for example, we go to Sega Naomi. Just here, we're going to see all the different types of file extensions that Retrobat supports. So just here, under extensions, we're going to find all those different extensions that Retrobat supports, and it also tells us which Retroarch cores are accepted or to run these games. So Retroarch comes with Retrobat. Once you download it, you're also downloading Retroarch. And from this Bat GUI, we've also got other useful things just here. So we can go for something like CHD Manager. And CHD Manager is a little tool where we can compress games into CHD format, which saves us room on our hard drive. So I've not actually covered CHD Manager yet, but it's a very good, useful tool to have. Another nice feature with Bat GUI is M3U Creator. Now, when we're using, or rather when we're emulating PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 games, we'll need to set these up in a specific way where Retrobat can show off their cover art, and this is where M3U Generator comes in. I've covered this in the past in PlayStation 3 setup guide for Retrobat as well as the Xbox 360, but it's a nice little feature of that tool. And we got many different features in here. I can't go into this in too much detail because I'll be going for hours. Something else you need to be aware of is that a lot of people, they will come and ask, they won't see Bat GUI, they'll open it up and they can't see text. The reason that is, as you can see on the Retrobat website, it will tell you to get Retrobat to perfection, you'll need to download a couple of extra files and install them. That's Visual C++, which is, as it says, Visual C++ visualizes things. So we need to install those in order to get Retrobat running, and we also need to download and install DirectX, but it says that on the Retrobat website. Another good thing talking about their website is the forum. The forum's very active, and most of the time developers will come along and support you. Also in the directory here we got BIOS folder. So generally your BIOS files will just pop inside of this folder, but in particular cases such as something like main, and from time to time we will need to put files inside something like samples, but by and large most of the time your files will just pop inside here without having to place them into a folder. Something else we can do here is if we go into the emulators folder and we just scroll down, we're going to find Retroarch. If we go inside of Retroarch, we can actually open up Retroarch from here and download stuff. Particular things, so Retroarch through Retrobat is a tailored version in order to work alongside Retrobat in specific ways. But through this we can download cheats even using Retroarch, as well as some free games which I've also covered on my channel. And if we come out again, we can take screenshots on Retrobat, which are going to end up in this folder. So let's actually take a look at Retrobat itself. If I just open this up. So this is one of the openings that Retrobat has, but we can actually customize this intro video. And again, I've also covered that on my channel in the past. And just so I remember, a lot of people ask, can I run this on Apple Mac? Can I run this on Android? No, you can. Retrobat is designed for Windows, like it says in the logo. So this is quite a boring looking theme we got going just here, but this is another really cool feature with being a free front end, is that we can actually download free themes. If we go to the main menu and just go down to updates and downloads, themes, we got a lot of themes here which are quite high quality, which the community actually uploads. And whilst I'm talking about themes, if you find a theme for a different platform and it's Emulation Station theme, largely you can put these into Retrobat through the Emulation Station folder, I believe. So you're not exactly limited just with these themes on here. And if we go to the Bezel project, if you know anything about the Bezel project, you can download these direct through Retrobat, and that just makes your games look a lot better. We can also go to Content Downloader, and this is packed full of free content as well, such as homebrew games. We got intro videos, which is new feature to upcoming version 6, and some of these are pretty cool. We've also got the ability to download mega bezels, which again I've also covered on my channel. And we've also got this feature here, which is Dumon's mega bezels. But again, if you're interested in mega bezels or pretty much anything I'm talking about, then guaranteed it's going to be in my Retrobat folder. And so, like I say, Retrobat, it largely runs from Retroarch, which is in the background, but we also need to download particular emulators for Retrobat, which Retroarch doesn't support. For example, PlayStation 3, Retroarch doesn't support it, doesn't have a core. So we need to do that as a separate installation. If we go to the Retrobat icon, these just here is each emulator we can download. So for example, I can go to CMU or CEMU, Wii U, and we need to download this, as this isn't supported to my knowledge on Retroarch right now. Other features for Retrobat, if we go to main menu, you can customize up to a certain extent. Like I say, for a free front end, it's got a lot to offer for itself. We've got the general features such as scraper, and we got screen scraper here, we got the games database, HFSDB and arcade database. We've also got a range of scraper settings just here. Image source, box source, logo source. Pretty good stuff just there. If we go down to system settings and information, it can tell us just here what type of computer we're running if you need to refer this to any particular reason. It's also going to tell us how much space we got on the hard drive. We could also change languages just here. Obviously mine's in English. We can turn on the clock in 12-hour format if you wish. And we can also add something called collections or dynamic collections. So you can pretty much create your own folder in Retrobat and put particular games in it, which is known as creating a new dynamic collection as well as new editable collection. So there's plenty there. We can also mess around with sound settings. So for example, if you've got music in the background right now, I could enable that or disable it. And there we go. And another really nice feature with Retrobat is, say you've got a collection of MAME, then Retrobat will automatically detect MAME games, arcade games, which are designed for vertical displays and come up with its own folder, just like this one just here. And it will also do the same for light gun games. So say you've got gun games, light gun games in your MAME set, literally will automatically put them into a light gun folder for you. And going back to themes, we can also customize themes by going to user interface settings. And say for example, I wanted to change the theme. I go to Batocera Club Reloaded. We can then go to user interface settings, theme configuration, and then we can actually customize this to some extent. So lots there to offer with free themes, which we looked at just a minute ago. Controller settings, we can actually map out controllers specifically, as well as specific mappings for particular systems. And that's why I say Retrobat is absolutely the best front-end system for free, and it's for reasons like this why I recommend Retrobat as being the best front-end system for Windows PC in 2023. Like I've been saying through the video, I've got a lot of experience with Retrobat, and I've got well over 100 individual setup guides for Retrobat. So if you're new to it, I've even got what I refer to as a fully comprehensive setup guide, which is around 33,000 views since I uploaded this one. So if you do want to get started with it, follow that guide, and then you can follow subsequent guides from using that comprehensive guide. And if you're interested in my personal opinion on the best paid front end, then check out the video, and I'm going to leave the link in my description for that, as well as pin it into my comments for this video. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, hit notifications, subscribe and like, and also join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. But until next time, stay retro.